Good morning, AJ. Hey, welcome to the band. Here's a real quick, I imagine you know all this stuff, but just to make sure you understand the drum scores and stuff like that. Here's a general 3/4. Now, we don't usually play this 3/4. It's kind of simple. This is from my college days, so like 40 years ago, all right? So, so this is called a 3/4, so you probably know that means there's 3 beats to a measure, right? 3 beats in one measure, so it tends to go foot to foot, hand to hand if you're a bass drummer. Anyway, so let me see, what else did I put on here? All right, I'm just making you a quick movie. So those are called your beats there, okay? So they beat, beat, beat. So notice there's 3 beats in each measure. And that's why it's called because there's 3 quarter notes, or the equivalent in there, all right? Now, we call this thing here a 5-stroke roll. So I just call it a half beat roll. So this will go dup, burr, up. And we'll talk about that in a second. I'll actually play this for you. All right, so that's called a 5-stroke roll. I just call it a short roll. I call it a burr up. How's that? That's a burr up. And what else have we got here to show you on how to read drum scores? All right, this thing here is called a paradiddle. Paradiddle. I'm imagining, not a paradiddle. It's a paradiddle with an L in it, all right? Paradiddle. And the reason we call it that is because it's paradiddle, right? It's not paradiddle. Notice that they're cut, all right? So it's not just a nice, even paradiddle. It's a paradiddle, paradiddle, right? So that's the cut time, if you say paradiddle, all right? And so, of course, you probably know all that stuff, right? And normally, well, unless you're stitching a bunch together, normally the beat starts on the left hand. Well, it depends. Notice I don't show left hand, right hand in here like some drum scores do, because normally if you start on the left, it kind of comes natural. Some of my drum scores have the left, right indicated on them. All right, now these drum scores are from my drum major from 40 years ago. All right, so I don't compose my own too often. In any event, this is called a paradiddle. And usually it's left, right, left, 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 right, left, left. And of course, if you're stitching them together, it'll go hand to hand. Left, right, left, left, right, left, left. No, whatever. You know what I mean? All right, so it's called a paradiddle. And here's another left, right, left, left. Left, right, left, left. All right, so you'll see paradiddles all over the place. It's a very common thing. Paradiddles are common. And so are triplets. Right? So you'll find that we stitch together a lot of 5-stroke rolls, burr, rip. A lot of paradiddles, paradiddle. A lot of triplets, triplet stroke. And you stitch those together in a few ways, and after a while it all starts to sound the same. Let's keep going. All right. So that's another paradiddle. There's an L in paradiddle, by the way. Paradiddle. Left, right, left, left. All right. Paradiddles everywhere. Look at there's paradiddles all over the place. After a while it gets kind of, you can only make so many combinations of paradiddles, triplets, and rolls, and after a while it all starts to sound the same. All right, now here's a 1-beat roll. All right, I think it's called an 11-stroke roll. I don't know. To tell you the truth, I'm not much of a drummer. All right, that's called a 1-beat roll. Right, notice it lasts for 1 beat, so it would go brrr up. All right, so what else have I got here to show you? There's that. I'm just using, okay, now notice the ends are often the same. All right, this is called a 3/4, but it doesn't matter. Almost all drum music, the last measure, sometimes the last 2 measures are exactly the same in every part. Here's part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. Normally there's actually 5 parts in a 3/4, but don't worry about it. All right, and yes, so it turns out that usually almost always, the very last measure is the same for all the parts. Often the last 2 measures are the same for all the parts. Sometimes the first, Anyway, you'll find out there's lots of repetitions going on. And speaking of repetitions, all right, so the endings of parts are generally the same. And you can usually tell whether a song's a 3/4, a 4/4, a 6/8, or whatever time signature just by the ending. Eh? This is dup, brr, up. Dup, brr, up. So you could tell that that's pretty obvious. There's 3 beats in a measure. In any event. So there's how the endings work, and I think I'm going to... Uh-oh, what's all that? Abort, abort. Sorry, one of my YouTube videos started playing for you there. All right, so what else was again? Oh, yeah, of course, so the ends repeat, but I also know, you know that the double dot means repeat, right? Double dot there, so you'd play this part 3 times. Now, in reality, actually, in 3/4s, you'll learn it, but in 3/4s, you actually play each part 4 times. So, in reality, as you'll notice, I will play it as the lead the first time through. Then we all come together and play it forte the second time through. And then I would play it as lead the next time, and then we all come in forte. And well, that's for 3/4s. For 4/4s, you don't do that. You'll find out. All right, so, yeah, I'm just giving you a little introduction to stuff here. What else do I have to show you? So the double dots at the beginning and end mean repeat this part, which, of course, you likely know already if you read music. What else? Oh, now, so I said we do paradiddle. We also do a lot of triplet. Now, of course, this triplet is smashed into a half beat. So that's a triplet stroke. Triplet stroke. So we've got a paradiddle, triplet stroke. These are kind of like the fundamentals. Triplet. So that's a triplet, and I call that stroke. And, of course, this thing here, I think that's called a flam. I don't know whether that's a flam or a drag, to be honest, because I'm not much of a drummer. It might be... No, that's a flam, isn't it? You would know better than me. Maybe you can teach me some drumming. That would be nice. All right, so notice I never did say what hand to start with, not in this score. Normally you start with the left hand, and then the rest just naturally flows. I think people prefer their left hand to start a beat. I don't know. All right, so let's go on here. I'll do one more slide for you here, and I'll just play a little tune for you. Well, I'll voice a little tune for you. Here we go. Let's try this. Are you ready? Let me grab my beat machine here. Are you ready? Here we go. So we'd go roll, roll, roll. Roll, roll, roll. Dup, burrup, dup. Oh, let me start again. I got to think about it now. Hold on. Abort, abort. Okay, I got it. Roll, roll, roll. Roll, roll, roll. Dup, burrup, dup, 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 burrup, dup, paradiddle, bup, burrup, dup, paradiddle, bup, burrup, bup, burrup, dup, paradiddle, bup, durrup, dup, paradiddle, bup, durrup, dup, paradiddle, bup. Burrup. Whoop, lost my beat measure there. Bup, burrup, dup, da-da-da-da, bup, burrup, dup, da-da-da-da, dup, burrup, dup, triplet stroke, blup, burrup, dup, burrup, dup, triplet stroke, bup, burrup, dup, triplet stroke, bup, burrup, dup, triplet stroke, blup, burrup. You get the idea? Dup, burrup, dup, dup, blup, burrup, dup, dup, blup, burrup, dup, blup, blup, burrup, something like that, all right? So I like doing the dup, burrups and the triplet strokes and the paradiddles and all that. So you kind of saying to yourself in your head, that kind of helps too. It does for me. Any event, there you go. Now you know how to read drum scores. All right, have a good one.